More at horizon.global. Reuters reports a Hilton hotel in Portland, Oregon announced over the weekend that it had fired a security guard and a manager after a black guest captured them on video calling the police to report him for trespassing after he had been speaking to his mother by phone in the lobby. A law firm representing Jermaine Massey said in a statement that police responded to the call and escorted Massey out of the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel where he was staying on December 22nd. His attorney said Massey was doing nothing more than calling his mother while black. Massey videotaped his interactions with the security guard and manager and posted it to Instagram where it was widely viewed. He has called his treatment by the hotel an incident of racial profiling. The hotel said in a statement on Saturday, following an internal review, we have terminated the employment of the security guard and manager involved in this incident. Our hotel is a place of hospitality and their actions were inconsistent with our standards and values. The identities of the security guard and manager were not released and they could not be reached for comment. In the video shared on social media, the security guard can be heard telling Massey that the police would be arriving to escort him away. Massey protested, saying he was staying at the hotel. The guard responded, "Not anymore." On Friday, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler said he was deeply troubled to hear about what Massey went through, saying no one should be treated this way, and I hope this serves as a catalyst for necessary changes that address the systemic nature of discrimination of all forms. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Publicists everywhere agreed this week that the nation's celebrities are in dire need of more fame, stressing that all 6 billion of the world's populace should know every U.S. celebrity by name and face by now. Publicists are calling for an emergency influx of buzz, heat, press, and word of mouth to be administered to the nation's celebrities immediately in order to prevent crucial fame levels from becoming dangerously low. Novelist Edward Milligan told reporters this week that in his new book, By the Water's Edge, he has fleshed out in meticulous detail his own huge and stunningly shitty world. Using in-depth research and the power of his own imagination, Milligan was able to conjure out of thin air every hackneyed character, trite street name, and horseshit backstory in the fictional town of Connors Cove. The complete hack proudly said he has created a universe that readers will feel they can actually reach out and touch. Sources say the prolific writer has not yet been punched repeatedly in the face. In other news, McDonald's opens a new senior citizen play place.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, it's the live Sunday edition. And it's Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
You can call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. That's why we call it Free Talk Live, because you are free to call in and talk live on the radio.
Talking dead is not that entertaining.
Yeah, well, it could be talking recorded, which could also happen. Free Talk Live is recorded on many of the 190-plus radio stations that carry us. So I always say, if it's between 7 p. and 10 p. Eastern Time, we're on the air. And we will be come New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. We were here Christmas, Thanksgiving, every day of the year.
Some of us were here on Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got people for that. I mean, you know, I got to go visit the family. What do you want from me? So, we did our little show prep rundown beforehand. And it looks like, Laurel, you got a story where the state of Utah is lowering the DUI limit from 0.08 to 0.05. This will solve some problems.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of places, it's closer to 0.8 or 0.10. So bringing it down to 0.5 is pretty low. I think for a lot of, especially women, that's going to be like one drink or maybe less.
Yeah, that's, you know, look, I don't like the idea of somebody getting in the car schnockered or anything like that, but at some point, you're going to make it so people can't have a drink with a meal.
Right. Which is really going to hurt a lot of the businesses in the area. And I'm not so sure that it's going to significantly reduce the number of drunk drivers at that point. I don't know. But I did look up some statistics on Fatal crashes due to speeding versus fatal crashes due to alcohol. And this is from the Department of Transportation. In 2016, there were 10,497 fatalities attributed to drunk driving and 10,111 attributed to speeding.
So about the same.
So it's about the same, approximately around 10,000 apiece. Right
so drunk
now,
driving today in this country is as dangerous as breaking the speed limit. Which, like, I wonder when they're talking about attributing something to speeding, are they talking about 10 miles an hour over the limit? Or are they talking about 35 miles an hour over the limit?
And anything where they think speeding contributed to the fatal accident,
which generally would be, 15, 20, 30 or more, or. Let's say that, and we're in the winter time of the year right now, so speed limit on a bunch of roads, say it's 30, you're doing 35, you hit a patch of ice, speed plays a limit there, whereas if you're going 20 and you hit the patch of ice, you're going to be able to control yourself a lot better.
Now, I happen to think that speeding should be taken more seriously than a lot of people do take it, specifically because it does contribute to fatal accidents. However, I know a lot of people think that it's taken too seriously already. And the point to be made here is that the currently in place alcohol laws related to driving have been as effective as the speeding laws. So that it's now, if you think that speeding is not a big deal, then that is the point to which we have brought drunk driving down to, so that they're comparable to each other at this point.
Yeah, I would say that that certainly speeding is bad, but in many cases the government is also bad at determining what the speed should be on a given road.
Yes.
I mean, we've all been going down some road where there's no driveways, no crossroads, no nothing.
And it's 35
and it's
for
35
no apparent
miles
reason.
an hour, and you're like, why is this not 50?
4-lane road. And a lot of times, I've seen this where it's a 4-lane road. We're not talking about a 2-lane road that's super windy. Like 4-lane, mostly straight, 35.
Furthermore, why crack down on drunk driving further than they already have and not crack down on speeding more than they already do when they're comparable at this point? It's like they think that, well, I think people think that drunk driving contributes to more accidents than they do at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. And, I mean, many times they're getting drunk drivers by not because they're driving poorly, which is it seems like a legitimate reason to pull somebody over, but because they, have caught them in some kind of snare that they set up. It's like, oh, well, you've blown into this thing and it turns out you're 0.09 and the legal limit's 0.08. And sorry.
And one thing that we've seen, and, the statistics show this, especially Austin, Texas, is a really good example because Uber and Lyft were functioning, and then they stopped being able to function, and then...
Now they're functioning again.
Right, but, during the time period where they were functioning, and then immediately went away, drunk driving rates went right back up.
Sure.
So drunk driving rates were at one spot. Uber and Lyft become functional. They drop very noticeably. Uber and Lyft get told you can't operate in Austin anymore, and then drunk driving goes back up.
You make a very good point that instead of making the drunk driving laws stricter than they are now, they should be looking at other ways, such as encouraging Uber and Lyft.
Right.
Because that has proven to be effective. You can use a different method other than a government crackdown.
Yeah, and let's point out that zoning laws played a role in drunk driving too. There was a time when you could stagger to the corner bar that was relatively close to the neighborhood.
Now that's drunk in public.
Right. Well, agreed, but that's not a zoning law. The zoning law drove the corner bar into a particular district in town where you had to drive to it in order to get to it. So.
Right.
It's weird.
And it's not that I think that they should allow people to drink as much as they want and go out and drive. I actually agree with a lot of drunk driving laws. It's just that any well-meaning law can go too far. Sure. And this is, even with the best of intentions, they want to save lives, they're becoming too strict. There is a threshold at which it's catching the maximum number of people without being too much of an impediment on people's lives. And then if you go further than that, then it's not worth it anymore. Even if you're saving people's lives, it is too much of an impact on the daily lives of everybody else. It lowers your quality of life.
I'm curious, since you did pull up some statistics, do they give a statistic of drowsy?
Yeah, it was 800 compared to 10,000. 800 fatalities attributed to drowsiness.
So as a firefighter who shows up on a regular basis, people don't mention cell phones as the cause of their accident very often.
That was, I think, 5,000. Keep talking.
It's
here we go. Distracted related deaths, and I think that's cell phone.
Yeah, should be
3,450. So
distracted
certainly a lot
could
more than
also be I was changing the channel on the radio. I was yelling at the kids. I was eating a burger and I dropped a fry.
It's hard to be to cease being drunk or intoxicated to some level. It is not hard to cease to be distracted.
Right.
That's kind of the definition of distracted. You were not looking at something for a minute because you were texting or whatever. And I mean, in my opinion, there are a lot of accidents that the best explanation for what occurred here was a cell phone was in somebody's hand.
Right.
And you don't know because, well, you show up several minutes after the accident, they picked up the cell phone, they put it in their pocket, whatever the case may be. Obviously, dead people don't do that. But the cell phone's going to get knocked around the car anyway in an accident, whether it's sitting on the armrest.
So you think that may be underreported?
I'm certain of it. I can remember specifically this girl gets out of this girl gets out of the car. I asked her if she's all right and everything. She said that there was a bee in the car. Come on, there's no bee in the car. You just wrecked into a tree by yourself. You had your cell phone in your hand. I mean, another guy I saw ran into a barn, knocked down a barn from 1797, and just knocked the frame out from underneath it. And I know what he was doing.
Right. And I'm going to say something here that I don't want to be taken out of context. I am not advocating that people use their cell phones while driving, but I will say that the hands-free laws have just made it more dangerous.
Yep.
Because instead of somebody holding it in the middle of the steering wheel, they're now holding it at their crotch and they're looking away completely from the road.
Right. That if they had it like in the middle of the steering wheel, and again, I don't recommend this, but at the same time, is all you're doing is your eyes are focusing in and out, as opposed to your eyes focusing in and out and looking up and down at the same time.
I think some of the speech-to-text technology changes are really going to help alleviate some of the distracted driving problems, I hope, but it's not going to do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I just don't text while driving, but for me, that's the best thing.
Right.
But I think that hands-free driving hands-free talking still distracted. 855-450-3733. Your thoughts are welcome. 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global. Drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. That's AnyPay.global.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com. Pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Free Talk Live.
No, I just want to just reiterate on what you said, and I feel you what you said about the junkie. I mean, I'm with you 100% because I had an ex-girlfriend that was like out there, and it took me a while to even find out that she was a cocaine addict. And I'm talking about I come home to all the electronics gone, and nobody broke into the house. A key was used. What happened was I was trying to be a gentleman, a good boyfriend. I got out of work. She said my car needed cleaning. It was dirty, and I ended up going in her trunk, cleaning out her trunk because that's where I kept the tie shine at. It's the exact same receipt from the pawn shop that the stuff that was missing, item for item.
Busted. Wow.
They had been to the pawn shop.
What happened when you confronted her?
She packed her stuff and said she's leaving because I don't trust her. So she gonna say she need to leave.
Right, it's your fault.
Yeah, it's my
You're
fault.
the bad guy.
I thought I found the receipts in the trunk. Right.
Free Talk Live. 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Talking about DUI laws and lowering the rate from 0.08 to 0.05. I guess Utah is doing that as of today?
As of today, December 30th, yes.
Yeah. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. And I want to tell you before we get into the calls here about my pillow. Now, this is the brand MyPillow.
It's a good pillow.
Yeah, it is a good pillow. MyPillow is designed not only to hold your head and neck in the proper position, which can help with headaches and obviously sleeplessness and a variety of other issues. If you're currently like sleeping on a down pillow, throw it away. I'm just, as a guy who used to swear by down pillows, throw it away. I mean, you can find pillows that'll hold your head and neck in the proper position. MyPillow isn't the only one. It is the only one that I know of that'll hold your head and neck in the proper position, and you can wash it. And speaking of which, now that I think about it,
you can wash a down pillow. You just can't ever use it again.
Well, that's true. So go to MyPillow.com, get 2 MyPillows premium pillows for one low price, and get free shipping on all orders when you use our coupon code FTL. Remember, if you don't like your MyPillow, you have 60 days to return it for a refund of your purchase price. It's MyPillow.com, promo code FTL. And it's a great deal. You might as well try it out. I think you'll love it as much as I have. MyPillow.com, promo code FTL. Let's go to Joe calling in from Alabama. Joe, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yes, with all the laws and regulations on cars, you got seatbelt laws, you got child restraint laws, you got car seat laws. I am surprised they've not put that where you blow into the pipe to start your car for alcohol law yet.
Yeah, like some people have those, those that have gotten themselves in trouble. But at this point, they haven't done that to all of us. And I would presume you just get somebody else to blow in it or something. I don't know.
Right. Well, on the seatbelt law, I hate to admit it, a lot of times I just fasten it behind me and go anyway.
Darryl does the same thing.
Darryl just doesn't wear it most of the time.
Well, Darryl.
Luckily, we live in a state that's not required. Now, You did lend me one of your vehicles.
Yes.
One time, actually more than one time. And this particular thing, it was a big, huge, giant truck, and just the reaching and grabbing. I just kept it permanently buckled in.
Okay, let me say this. I recommend everybody wear their seatbelt.
Oh, yes, me
Don't
too.
listen to these guys. Wear your seatbelt.
Yeah, I wear mine too.
I wear mine.
So I think if you're traveling under 25 miles an hour, it doesn't really matter. When you're going above 30, and it's hard to remember you're going to do that, but if you're going above 30 miles an hour, I think you should have your seatbelt on. That, but I'm not here to tell an adult what they've got to do with their lives either. I think you should be able to make that decision.
You should wear a seatbelt not only when you're going quickly, but when you could be hit by somebody else going quickly. So even if you're going slowly down the highway, if there are other people on the highway going very fast, you should wear one in case they hit you.
Go ahead, Joe.
Right, I just hate. I got a store like 4 blocks from the house.
Yep.
And that's just a quick trip. And so, and there again, I know I'm a bad boy, but sometimes it just makes no sense. You get in and get right out, and that's. But going long distance, I fastened a seatbelt, so I didn't want to make it sound like I was a criminal.
Well, there's two issues here. There's, is it a good idea? And should the government be enforcing it? So, yeah, if you're just going down the street, should the government force you to put your seatbelt on? Maybe not.
Yeah, I think that the seatbelt laws is probably something that the government can claim as a success, though. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, I remember the Buick Century station wagon my mother had as I was growing up in racing beige, and I'd crawl all over that thing from front seat to back seat to the very back part. I remember playing Star Wars in the I don't know what you call the area in the back of a station wagon, but the trunk part, and
the hatch.
I had all kinds of Star Wars figures and those kinds of things back then. And I had a grand old time going all over the place.
Yeah, we did the same thing. Yeah,
this was 1982, 3. We didn't wear seatbelts. Are you kidding? But at some point or another, they changed the laws, and now even in New Hampshire, where there is no mandatory seatbelt law, I believe the last I saw for adults, the compliance rate was 69%. So people were
it's a good idea.
Most people now have cars that go dingy, dingy, dingy if you don't wear it. But the one thing
Joe was mentioning,
the one thing that's interesting is New Hampshire, where children up to the age of 18 are required to wear a seatbelt. If you slap 50 of them in the same vehicle, no seatbelt.
Oh, that's right.
School bus.
Oh, school bus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just, no seatbelts on school buses because reasons.
Yeah, well, I go say, no seatbelt on school buses at all.
Yep. Thanks for the call, Joe. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Yep.
Incidentally, on the Department of Transportation statistics regarding those fatalities, it is also around 10,000 fatalities are attributed to not wearing a seatbelt.
So do they have multiple, can a fatality be both alcohol related and seatbelt related and distracted driving related?
That's not clear to me from their statistics, but I think probably.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Because we're getting close to all the fatalities at this point.
Now, I know a guy that when I was probably like 21, 22, he crashed his truck. Had he been wearing a seatbelt, the steering wheel would have gone through his chest.
Everybody has a story like this.
Right, I think that's the
Luckily,
exception.
he was drunk enough to where when he hit the telephone pole, he fell over to the side. Unfortunately, he bit through the dashboard, his lip, and his tongue. He did survive, but had he been sober and wearing a seatbelt,
he might have been dead.
Well, he also wouldn't have gotten the crash.
Yeah.
But had that crash happened with him sober wearing a seatbelt, he would have died.
So this is the thing about seatbelts. This is probably one of my main reasons for not supporting seatbelt laws is because everybody has a story like this. And I'm not going to tell somebody who lost a family member when, they're sitting there and the cop says, or at least they have a story that the cop says, that they'd probably be alive if they hadn't been wearing a seatbelt. I'm not going to tell them that they've got to wear a seatbelt. I think they should. I choose to. I make sure my family does. We self-check because it's important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my son is a great little self-checker. I can tell you that. Make sure everybody's wearing their seatbelt.
My daughter's 15, and I still have to check.
Well, he's the seatbelt police. I don't know what to tell you. So, I guess this DUI thing. I at some point or another, you're going to have it so that people can't have a drink and get into the car. And I don't know whether that's going to make the world a better place or not. Hopefully we get self-driving cars soon and it doesn't make a difference. But
the laws are going to have to change because currently in New Hampshire, at least, and it's probably like this in other states, whoever is in control of the vehicle is the, quote, operator.
Uh-huh.
If it's a self-driving vehicle, but you're the one that pushed the start button, you are in control, you are operating. If you're drunk and you press the go button, you would still be operating under the influence.
Yeah, they'll have to change the law on that.
We're a ways off from it at this point. They have self-driving features, but we're not at self-driving cars today.
Yep. I'm just saying laws are going to have to change before somebody intoxicated can get inside an autonomous vehicle and legally, in some places, actually go somewhere.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE.
At WolfHillAmmo.com, we love shotguns. We offer the best specialty shotgun ammo on the market, including our defensive combo packs for home and retreat. Our less lethal combo is good for animal control, the 4-legged kind and 2-legged. When lethal force is necessary, reach for our Stop 'em, Drop 'em, or our home defense combos. These 5-round packs include different heavy hitters to protect your loved ones. Visit WolfHillAmmo.com to see our great prices on these combo packs and other specialty shotgun ammo rounds. WolfHillAmmo.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live Sunday edition. Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450 free as in freedom. And I'd like to tell you about our Discord lines. Discord's it's a chat feature, but it's also kind of like Skype. So it's a voice over IP protocol. You can go to discord.freetalklive.com. That's discord.freetalklive.com. And there you have the opportunity to get an app for your phone. And if you get the app, then you can call in, and it just sounds better. Discord.freetalklive.com. Bitcoin.com. I've got to say, I am watching every one of the videos that Bitcoin.com is producing. Their YouTube channel is great. Every week they put something out. Lots of news coming out about cryptocurrency, and they're a great source, especially for news surrounding Bitcoin Cash, which seems to be the thing that they're pushing the most. You go to Bitcoin.com and you'll find lots of information, whether you're new or very familiar with cryptocurrency. Bitcoin.com is a great place to get a wallet, to acquire Bitcoin. They even have mining contracts that you can do there. I don't necessarily recommend mining for somebody who's getting into this. You need to do lots and lots of research to decide whether or not that's a good idea for you. Nonetheless, they have everything for you. It's a one-stop shop, Bitcoin.com. It is a very robust website, Bitcoin.com. Let's go to, since we're talking about cars, Sarah in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes. Talking about cars, were you talking about cars before I called in?
That's correct.
What were you talking? Okay, the cars. The cars hit, how about this, 800 pedestrians here in New Mexico, and then 86 of them are dead and killed. This year, unless we got 2 more days to go, unless they're going to kill another 2 or 3 by a couple more days.
Well, it is the holidays. People are drinking. They might rack up a few more. You never know.
Yep, by stumbling into traffic, because Sarah, we went over these numbers with you a couple of nights ago, that at least in Albuquerque, your police chief said that 62% of pedestrians that were killed in being hit by a car, 62% of the pedestrians were intoxicated, and pedestrians were at fault in another 12%.
Why are your drunk pedestrians throwing themselves in front of cars, Sarah?
Well, you know what? They jaywalked. Do you know why? Because they were afraid to cross at the crosswalk because the red light cameras are gone. That's why.
Well, I suspect they're probably not making that decision. Fear isn't something they're worried about if they're getting hit by cars, right? Like some judgment has been diminished, I would guess. Right. I mean, cars don't zoom along wherever, what they're on Route 66 at 90 miles an hour and catch pedestrians by surprise. You kind of have to work a little to get hit there, don't you?
Well, we did a major like a road construction. It used to be 2 car lanes. Now many places are narrowed down to 1 car lane with wider sidewalks.
Does that make people more likely? How does that affect jaywalking?
Well, instead of crossing 2 streets to get to the median, we have to only just cross like 1 lane of cars.
So that's made it more tempting?
And it slows down the cars.
So if the cars are driving slower, then that should decrease the likelihood that anybody gets killed by being hit by a car because they're driving slower.
Right. If it's just 1 car lane, they slow down at the Union area, and there's the.
I don't know what the Union area is. Never been to Albuquerque in my life.
And there's And then there's the shopping. What I meant to, when I say Nob Hill means like the shopping area, like where a lot of tourists go. A lot of shops are there.
Well, I don't know have a solution for you as to how to keep pedestrians from throwing themselves in front of motor vehicles, but I will say
I do. Underground sidewalks.
There you go. Just keep the pedestrians off the street, would you, Sarah?
Yeah, if we don't have sidewalks anywhere near the roads, then they can't just stumble into the road because, like you walk outside and then you're underground and the cars are driving above ground.
That sounds so inexpensive.
Oh, I'm from Florida. It sounds like a swimming pool is what it sounds like.
Oh, I didn't say it would be cheap.
Thank you for the call.
The other solution is to have elevated sidewalks with some type of netting device that would catch anybody that falls.
There's also a solution, cross at the crosswalk.
Well, in Las Vegas, they have lots of pedestrians in Paradise, and that's the portion of Las Vegas that actually is Las Vegas.
The strip area.
Yeah, the Strip. Mm-hmm. And they have very good systems for keeping drunk people from wandering out into the road. There are fences. There are walkovers. There are whole bunches of things.
Their walkovers have escalators outside.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
And
I like
elevators.
Have you ever wondered how you can run an escalator in the rain?
There's not a lot of rain in Las Vegas.
That's true. I mean, but it must rain sometimes.
It is the desert.
Yeah.
It is the desert.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's
by
outside.
definition, desert does not get a lot of rain.
No, I don't know if
it
is
got
the
a lot
desert,
of rain, it would not be the
yes,
desert.
That would be why it works in Las Vegas and not, in most places.
Okay.
Seattle.
Yeah.
There are not, as far as I know, and Jackie, who's in the other room, who's from the Pacific Northwest, can tell us if Seattle has any outside elevators or escalators. But I don't think they do.
I was just there about a month ago, and I don't recall anything like that. Although there was a nice fish market.
Yes, and the Space Needle is a lot smaller than I expected.
It's such a tourist trap. I mean, there's so many tall buildings you can go up, and Space Needle's
right. It is,
unremarkable.
But like the Space Needle is so synonymous with Seattle that Tourist Darryl, when he went there, was like, all right, I should be able to see the Space Needle from anywhere in the city.
One would think.
But no, you've got to go to the very specific area and then walk over a hill, and it's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. I was up there, and they were landing seaplanes in the little harbor area, and that was kind of cool. I mean, you don't see seaplanes every day.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Anyway, I think you were going to tell us, Laurel, some of the facts surrounding this lowering
Utah.
of the DUI rate in Utah to 0.05. So if you're a Utahn, I think that's right.
A Ute.
Ute.
It says Utah in the article.
It probably does. I've also heard Ute.
Isn't that a youth?
No, that might be specific to the Ute tribe that lives in Utah, from which the state is named. But I have heard Ute.
So let me read this. Segue into this. On Sunday, this is according to NPR, on Sunday, which is today, the state's blood alcohol content limit will drop, or has dropped, from 0.8% to 0.05%, marking the strictest DUI law in the country. To give you an idea of the difference in consumption, for a man weighing 180 pounds, it takes about 4 drinks to reach a blood alcohol content of 0.08%, according to the American Beverage Institute.
I would never drink 4 drinks and get in a car.
But to reach 0.05%, it's about half as many drinks, so 2, and can be even fewer for women. So women can't have 2 drinks.
And a lot of this depends on how much is being eaten, what type of drink. Now, I know that they've considered, like a glass of wine, or a beer, or a
5
shot,
ounces of
or
wine.
this.
A shot is 1.5 ounces.
Right.
A beer, I think, is at 12 ounces, and they're all considered one serving.
Right. Well, the beers that I like generally have ABVs of 7-8%.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 of those would get me plastered under the current laws.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
incidentally, when people are looking at, how much can I drink versus how much you weigh, it's not your total weight, it's your lean mass weight.
Right, and no one knows that.
So
I don't know what my lean mass weight is. I know how much I weigh.
Being really fat doesn't mean you can drink a lot. Being very muscular means you can.
Yes, but if you're muscular, then you have a lot of then your metabolism's running more quickly, so you're more likely to be affected by the alcohol quickly, but then it's out of your system quickly. So
good
it's a
reason
real
to go
mess.
to the gym.
855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
You want to know the 37 items you must have to survive a crisis? Then I've got some good news for you. Former CIA officer and New York Times best-selling author Jason Hansen is now giving listeners a free copy of his book, The Escape Bag Blueprint, 37 Items You Must Have to Survive a Crisis. You can claim your copy at freeescapebook.com. Don't delay. Jason reveals the guns, knives, flashlights, and water filters that could save your life in an economic collapse or grid-down event. Get your free book today, freeescapebook.com. freeescapebook.com.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. It's the live Sunday edition, and you are free to call in. We have been talking about blood alcohol content levels changing, at least in Utah. I know that MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, is crazy. Haha, little joke. About trying to lower the blood alcohol level pretty much nationwide to 0.06, which surprised me that Utah dropped it to 0.05 because that's even, that's even lower than.
We're talking about a state that, and I think they may have recently gotten rid of this, the barrier thing, where if you go to a bar, they have to have a wall separating the patrons from the guy mixing the drinks.
So like a half wall or like a full wall? Like you just can't see a man mix a drink?
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's also something in there to where you could also just have like some big, huge, giant area instead of having the wall. Just, all right, nobody can be within 30 feet of the bartender, because the claim is children might see the bartender mixing drinks and then learn how to do it.
Huh.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
We might consider that
They call it mixed drinks.
Utah has a large Mormon population, and of course they don't drink at all. So that may have influenced these laws.
They certainly want each other. The Mormon legislators certainly want the other Mormon legislators to believe that they do not drink. Yes, that is true. I don't know. I mean, there are lots of Mormons. We had a Riley Blake, who does our podcast, our Digest podcast. He is a blind guy, but he's also sort of ethnically Mormon. He grew up in a Mormon household. And
ethnically Mormon.
He came here, and I believe I gave him his first beer. The man's in his mid-20s, late 20s, I think, and hadn't had a beer before and just wanted to try it out, and I don't think he was real impressed.
Did you at least give him good beer?
What's that?
Did you at least give him good beer?
Well,
or was it PBR?
Good beer is it's an opinion, and it's usually an opinion held by people who have already had many beers before they determine what a good beer is. All beer tastes bad the first time you have it, more or less. If you want somebody to enjoy alcohol, and I wasn't trying, he said he wanted a beer. By all means, you shall have a beer, young man.
I'm just trying to figure out what type of beer you keep at your house.
I think it was Bud, but this was at a bar, and I think it was Bud Select.
Okay.
So not the greatest beer.
Right.
But nonetheless, not a terrible beer either. By the way, I will not hear of Budweiser being besmirched in my presence. I believe that it is called the king of beers for a reason. I mean, this is a time-tested recipe for producing beer. I'm a fan of...
There are some pretty horrible kings, though. You do have to admit.
Agreed. There's some horrible beers out there. And
yes.
You can call in with what you consider to be the most horrible beer.
Most of them are produced... Most of the horrible beers, at least in the U.S., because, I'm not drinking horrible beers from, like Swahili land or Germany or anything, but the horrible beers in the U.S. generally made by Anheuser-Busch and
you don't know much about beer production in the world, because just about every beer is made by Anheuser-Busch at this point, or it is a small batch. I mean, what is it?
And InBev's actually been buying up a bunch of like microbrews.
Yeah. InBev is who owns
and then putting
Budweiser.
them out of business.
Well,
that's a shame.
They squeeze what they can out of the name, and then if it isn't profitable, then they let it go. They're whatever, that's their business model. That's what they do. But
I'm not a fan of beer. Sometimes people try to get me to try one. They're like, "Well, try this beer. This one's a good one. You just haven't had good beer." And I respond, "Is it beer?"
Yeah.
Then I don't like it.
Yeah.
I just don't like beer. I like wine. I like hard cider.
Sure.
Have you ever had mead?
I don't think so.
It's really sweet wine.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's made out of honey.
It's got a honey base, so it's more like wine than it is like beer, but technically it is a beer style of alcoholic beverage.
And if you're going to consume these in Utah, be very careful of your blood alcohol level. It's 0.05 now as of today. So, little scary stuff. Darryl, you've got a story on kitten murder.
Yeah, and apparently there's a piece of legislation currently pending that would wind up ending certain kitten murder. I'll get into the story here from Reason. They say U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley has decided to close out the year by introducing the most unobjectionable piece of legislation ever conceived. The Kitten Act. Kitten is an acronym here for Kittens in the Traumatic Testing Ends Now Act. Merkley's bill, introduced last week, aims to stop the Department of Agriculture, USDA, from their current practice of killing off cats they breed for research, requiring them instead to wind up putting the kittens up for adoption.
So these are government cats. This is a government rule for government cats, all right?
Yes. Merkley said in a statement, the Kitten Act will protect these innocent animals from being needlessly euthanized in government testing and make sure that they can be adopted by loving families instead.
So basically, as it is right now, before the rule change, the government does the testing on the kittens, or private industries, or is it just government?
I'm not sure. It's talking about a USDA practice, so it could be something where the USDA just tells everybody,
right?
Oh, you're testing this product. Use a cat. Kill the cat when you're done.
So the rule is right now that they use the cat for the research, and then after the research is done, even if the cat is fine, even if the cat survived the research and is perfectly healthy, maybe it was the control group, then
it was a research cat.
They won't let the cats be adopted. They would just slaughter them. So this rule changes that, so now they can be adopted.
Well, if this legislation goes through and they've only got 2 more business days and they're not scheduled to vote on anything.
Who could possibly say no to that piece of legislation?
Well, the bill, Reason says, is a response to revelations from the White Coat Waste Project, an anti-animal testing group about the USDA's practice of essentially using kittens as parasite incubators at its animal parasitic disease laboratory in
let's make sure that the
Maryland.
parasite incubators get out into main society. That'll be great.
Carlin Becker described the grisly practice for Reason, saying, quote, documents obtained by the White Coat Waste Project show the department has been breeding around 100 kittens a year for almost 50 years just to infect them with a parasite that can cause toxoplasmosis, a disease that can lead to miscarriage and birth defects in humans and is a leading cause of death from foodborne illnesses.
Don't we have to know? I mean, like, a lot of these people don't want animal testing at all, and in some cases, animal testing is the best way to find out the answer to some questions.
I'm in favor of some animal testing, but let's, if the animal is fine, go on.
Continuing here, the department, being the USDA, collects the kitten's feces for 2 to 3 weeks and then simply euthanizes them with a shot of ketamine to the heart.
Aww.
This is a pretty shocking practice considering the undeniable cuteness of the average kitten. It's made worse by the fact that euthanizing the cats is almost certainly unnecessary. According to the CDC, the toxoplasma found in the research kitten's poop only poses a risk to humans for up to 3 weeks after the animal is first infected. The parasite is easily treated in both humans and cats, and most people who become infected with toxoplasma do not even require treatment. Nevertheless, the USDA has continued to defend the practice, arguing that it's just following best practices. They do put orders, but then they scratch that out. They're just following orders. I mean, best practices in animal research.
That's probably Reason that's putting that in.
Yes. And that the risks to adoptive families are just too great to let these cats live. A USDA spokesperson told CNN back in May, quote, our goal is to reduce the spread of toxoplasmosis. Adopting laboratory cats could unfortunately undermine that goal, potentially causing severe infection, especially with unborn children or those with immunodeficiencies.
Yeah, this toxoplasmosis, I believe, this is like biological warfare that the cats play on humans. It actually makes humans more suicidal. It makes them more obsequious to cats. A whole bunch of things that this weird virus does. And
I've heard it described as crazy cat lady syndrome.
Yeah. It's
to where it makes you want to have more cats, and then the parasite then winds up jumping from the human to the cat.
Now,
how long does the disease persist?
Well, they say in this article, they're saying 3 weeks after the infection of the cat. But I I'm certain I have it because it has been my job at my house to clean out the kitty litter thing for as long as Laura and I have been together. We got together. I had a cat, Senior Grouchy Pants, and so I obviously had to clean up after my cat. And then after that, I was just the guy who cleans up the cat box. But I don't know. To me, cats they breed almost as fast as rabbits. They're pretty close to a pest. So there's lots and lots of humane societies out there that have plenty of cats to adopt.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Refrigerated Cookie Dough. Who would you bake some love for? Find fun and easy baking ideas at tollhouse.com. Kids love doing arts and crafts projects, especially when you join in. Try channeling all that artistic energy into the kitchen and bake up some creative treats together. Think of your art supplies as the frosting, sprinkles, and decorating gels, and use cookies or cupcakes as your canvas. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, December 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.39 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,281 per ounce. Zen is trading at $6, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,845. Antiwar.com reports in a Friday tweet angrily condemning the obstructionist Democrats. President Trump had threatened to fully close the border between the United States and Mexico. He says this will happen unless Congress changes immigration laws to suit his taste and agrees to fully fund his border wall. Democratic strategist Jesse Ferguson said that Trump has taken taxpayers hostage by shutting down the government and that this latest threat amounted to upping the ransom demand. The U.S. government is in a state of partial shutdown for now over demands by President Trump to fund the wall. Congress has no vote scheduled and isn't even intended to meet until late next week. Trump's comments were vague, as it's unclear how the border closure to legal traffic would do anything to impact illegal crossings, and similarly unclear how Trump proposes to seal the border without a wall. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports 2 outgoing senior House Republicans Friday called for a continued investigation into the FBI and DOJ's handling of the Russia investigation and Hillary Clinton's emails, while renewing a request for a second independent counsel. In a letter to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, and the DOJ's Inspector General Michael Horowitz, U.S. Representatives Bob Goodlatte and Trey Gowdy encouraged federal law enforcement leaders to investigate these matters consistent with your jurisdiction so the final definitive accounting can be made to the American people. While the letter signaled an end to the House investigation into the handling of Clinton's emails and Donald Trump's ties to Russia, Goodlatte, the outgoing chair of the House Judiciary Committee, and Gowdy, the House Oversight Committee chair, charged that their work was stymied. Goodlatte and Gowdy wrote, "Regrettably, our joint investigation was impacted by institutional protectionism on the part of the DOJ and FBI. For example, the agencies delayed the production of relevant documents and failed to provide witnesses in a timely manner," adding, "DOJ continues to refuse to declassify documents necessary to the investigation despite the president's request that the documents be declassified." Democrats take over House leadership in January and have long been critical of the Republicans investigating the FBI. They charged that Republicans were doing the bidding of the president to undermine special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. Gowdy and Goodlatte denied their investigation was an attempt to undermine Mueller. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community. Learn more at horizon.global. Reuters reports a Hilton hotel in Portland, Oregon announced over the weekend that it had fired a security guard and a manager after a black guest captured them on video calling the police to report him for trespassing after he had been speaking to his mother by phone in the lobby. A law firm representing Jermaine Massey said in a statement that police responded to the call and escorted Massey out of the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel where he was staying on December 22nd. His attorney said Massey was doing nothing more than calling his mother while black. Massey videotaped his interactions with the security guard and manager and posted it to Instagram where it was widely viewed. He has called his treatment by the hotel an incident of racial profiling. The hotel said in a statement on Saturday, following an internal review, "We have terminated the employment of the security guard and manager involved in this incident. Our hotel is a place of hospitality and their actions were inconsistent with our standards and values." The identities of the security guard and manager were not released and they could not be reached for comment. In the video shared on social media, the security guard can be heard telling Massey that the police would be arriving to escort him away. Massey protested, saying he was staying at the hotel. The guard responded, "Not anymore." On Friday, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler said he was deeply troubled to hear about what Massey went through, saying no one should be treated this way, and I hope this serves as a catalyst for necessary changes that address the systemic nature of discrimination of all forms. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Yesterday, two groups of men shot at each other near Bagram Base, where I am. Today, the soldiers are happy about some of the men dying and sad about other men dying. Sergeant First Class Aaron Tomlin is only sad about 4 of the dead people.
It's a long, tough day here. We lost 4 good men.
No, 27 men died. 4 American soldiers and 23 Taliban soldiers. You said that 4 soldiers die and it makes you sad. But you said when Taliban soldiers die, it does not make you sad. I asked Base Commander David Hawkins to make it make sense.
The last thing we resort to is hurting anyone. But you have to understand, it's our job to keep the American people safe from our enemies. And sometimes that includes...
So if you kill your enemies at your job, it is not sad.
Well...
What if I killed my enemy Ryan at my job? It would not be sad?
No, you shouldn't do that.
But he is rude to me. He steals my yogurts. He makes fun of the way I talk.
Look, only soldiers can kill without getting in trouble.
Okay. Are you going to kill Ryan?
No.
It does not make sense.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
The live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on the air. It's Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
The number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. And Darryl, we're talking about the USDA murdering kittens.
Yes, we are. And apparently the bill that unfortunately will not get acted on, which just means that it will have to get filed again next year, that would put an end to this. The Kitten Act, which stands for Kittens and Traumatic Testing, ends now.
act.
I'm not sure I'm convinced on this. I don't know.
You're not convinced that it's not going to get voted on this year when Congress has said that they're not voting on anything until the new Congress is sworn in on January 3rd?
Thanks for making that clear. No, I am not sure that I think that this bill should be passed. At this point, we're talking
You're
about...
in favor of killing kittens?
If they're infected with, what's the name of the virus?
Toxoplasmosis.
Toxoplasmosis on purpose.
And then treated for it in the lab and then killed.
I understand. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know everything about toxoplasmosis, and I would need to be convinced on that issue.
It's really only dangerous for pregnant women.
So they say. It also has an effect on regular folks. You know, it makes you like cats more. It makes you possibly suicidal. Sometimes people have these flashes of suicidal thoughts. I mean, we don't know how many people who end up driving their cars into the opposing lane of traffic because of some cat carrying disease. So
I haven't heard that before. That
nor have I.
Okay.
Makes you like cats more or makes you suicidal.
I have heard it makes you like cats more.
That's fascinating.
But yeah, so this Representative Merkley, Jeff Merkley from Oregon, introduced this bill after the White Coat Waste Project wound up releasing some documents about the practice that apparently has been going on for about 50 years. Nevertheless, the USDA has continued to defend the practice, arguing they're just following best practices. All things considered, Reason says this is a remarkable testament to a bureaucracy's habit of just continuing to do the same thing they've always done, regardless of how cruel or unnecessary it might be. Indeed, it's hard to think of anyone that could be opposed to ending needless government euthanasia of potential fur babies. Again, no action has yet been taken and probably won't be. A companion House bill, which would prohibit any painful or stressful USDA experimentation on cats, was introduced back in May, but has sat in committee ever since. Even in these divided times, one would hope that Americans could at least rally around the cause of saving a few cute kittens from needless taxpayer-funded annihilation.
I'd really like to see them reduce the number of cats that they're breeding specifically for this purpose, because there really are enough cats already in shelters looking for homes. We don't need to be adding more, but do they really need this many cats to experiment with? I wonder, and I know that's not in the article.
I just want to remind people that your taxes are paying to kill cute baby kittens. Your taxes are paying for that.
Sure. The cats, but I mean, we have to know about toxoplasmosis, and you're going to have to do live animal testing, and it's cats that it affects most greatly. You want to get a kitten because you don't know whether these adult cats at the shelter have already been exposed to toxoplasmosis, and apparently it's most virulent in the first 3 weeks. And so you can't, otherwise they're doing a great deal of testing on the cat to see whether or not it's got it, whereas a kitten doesn't have it necessarily. So that's the reason they do what they do.
Right. I understand that they can't just go for their testing purposes, go to the shelters and get them from there.
Yeah.
But do they need this many cats to test on at all? I mean, 100 a year? I understand that they need to do some animal testing, but that seems like a lot to test year after.
2 per state.
I mean, well, what
this
are they
is all
to learn
happening
here?
in one lab.
I know, but it's
we're talking about 2 per day.
Yeah,
2 per day.
No, that would be.
Or wait, no,
one every third.
One every 3.5 days.
Yeah,
sorry, my math was wrong.
Right, we were talking states and days and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not here advocating for killing as many kittens as possible. Believe
sure
me.
as hell sounds like it.
But I will say that toxoplasmosis is a serious disease, and we need to do what we can do to prevent that infection in humans. Cats aren't something we're running low on. This is
that's true.
Frankly, one of the it's a terrible little predator that has spread all over the globe because, well, it's adorable and friendly and all those things. But the songbirds that are killed every year, the disease that is spread by this predator, cats are,
There is a thing that I've read before about how much do cats actually kill.
Yes.
And it's just absolutely hilariously weird.
Is it a lot or a little?
It's a lot because that they break down numbers of, we only see a certain percentage of what cats kill.
Right.
And then there are things that they might just maim that will then die later. And it's very lengthy. But it's also fairly interesting. I'll try to find it and put it out on the social media.
So apparently both cats and dogs have been used for centuries to protect babies from rats. The ancient Egyptians used to use cats for that purpose quite frequently.
Most times cats aren't big enough to handle brown rats. We have a cat that was supposed to be a barn cat that turns out was just a really misbehaving house cat. She like bites you for no reason. We call her Sybil. That's the name. That's the name that came with her. And so when we moved house recently, this year, and she came with us because my wife has grown attached to this horrible animal. But we had to we put a cat door in because she still has to go out and find rodents to kill. Now we have never seen her attack a bird, and she's also obese. So if the rodent is getting caught by this, she mostly somehow digs up moles. I don't know how she does it exactly, but she's heck on rodents. There's no doubt. But she could never. We had a pig farm at the last place, and she could never handle the rats.
The rats are pretty big. They're pretty nasty.
The best thing to handle rats, you go to Home Depot and you get these big black cat rat traps.
If I see rats, I'm hiring somebody to deal with that one. I'm not going to do that one myself.
Well, these
mice
traps,
I'll do myself, but not the rats.
These traps are great. They got a little thing on them that you can tie to a nail and nail into the ground because the rats will drag the trap off. And frankly, traps far more effective on rats than any cat's ever going to be.
The one bright silver lining, if you have mice, is that you almost certainly do not have rats if you have mice because they do not occupy the same spaces.
Yes.
Which is a plus, yay.
Yeah, the rats drive just about everything out. Anything left in this article, Daryl?
No, but I did find some numbers. ABC News apparently has the not as interesting story here about how much cats actually wind up killing. And the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service did some research and discovered that cats are responsible for the death of between 1.4 to 3.7 billion birds every year, as well as upwards of just under 21 billion mammals every year.
Yeah, I mean, which mammals are we talking about? We're talking about small rodents, basically, and it's hard to feel bad about that. I mean, the rare endangered North American shrew, I doubt it. It's mostly pests. It's a pest that kills other pests. That's the way they look at these creatures.
Could be like a baby beaver.
It could be a baby beaver. You have never lived in proximity to a beaver because those things are pests. They're awful creatures that jam up waterways for no particularly good reason.
Humans also jam up waterways for no particularly good reason other than, I want to go skiing in the Colorado River.
Yes, well, if you pay the property taxes on the area, then I have less problem with it. The beavers don't. And you can't get rid of them because they're protected in many cases. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
You want to know the 37 items you must have to survive a crisis? Then I've got some good news for you. Former CIA officer and New York Times best-selling author Jason Hansen is now giving listeners a free copy of his book, The Escape Bag Blueprint, 37 Items You Must Have to Survive a Crisis. You can claim your copy at freeescapebook.com. Don't delay. Jason reveals the guns, knives, flashlights, and water filters that could save your life in an economic collapse or grid-down event. Get your free book today, freeescapebook.com. freeescapebook.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Talk Live Sunday edition. It's Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. And in the last segment, Mark advocates for the murder of kittens. Well, not exactly, but...
you kind of did.
Yeah. Now, Darryl, actually, I'm going to switch tracks here a little bit. Apparently... the TSA is switching from pointy-eared dogs to floppy-eared dogs?
Yeah, this is not The Onion. I repeat, this is not The Onion.
This is also not Pet Talk Live either.
This is not some... No, so when I saw the headline, I was thinking, what satire site is this from? Headline, TSA to deploy more floppy-eared dogs because they're less scary than pointy-eared dogs.
I'd say that floppy-eared dogs probably are a little less scary than pointy-eared dogs, but that's because people are stupid.
It's really the teeth that I'm concerned about, not the ears.
The teeth in a golden retriever are terrifying if you just look at the teeth.
The picture that they have accompanying this article, by the way, it's from the LA Times. They picture here a German short-haired pointer.
Okay.
That aside from having floppy ears, looks kind of like, a Rottweiler or a Doberman or something. It's one of those tall, skinny dogs.
Yep.
But, it's got floppy ears instead of... So it could still bite you.
And the dogs...
It's still going to snitch on you.
The dogs aren't there to be cute. The dogs are there to work.
Right. But we can't scare people when they walk past the drug-sniffing dog.
It's
or
all
the
right.
bomb-sniffing dog.
The TSA isn't actually working anyway. I mean, they're just a organized crime to make you pay significantly more for water than. Really, I mean, what else do they do? They're
security theater.
They're security theater. Well,
not my term. That is security experts.
Yeah.
That say that.
I was recently on one of these discount airlines. They said they'd get you through security more quickly if you paid $8, which says to me that there's not much going on in security if you can get me through it more quickly if I pay you $8.
Yeah.
What's the point of this?
It is a racket. It is extortion.
If I'm a bad guy, I'm clearly going to pay the $8.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The article here, let's jump in. They say, in its effort to make the airport security screening process faster, the TSA is employing new high-tech baggage scanners, facial recognition cameras, and automated lanes to eliminate passenger gridlock. But TSA Administrator David Pekoski said the agency is also making at least one new change to reduce traveler stress, deploying more floppy-eared dogs rather than the pointy-eared dogs that sniff out explosives in public areas.
I would really just rather if they were nice to us when we went through there.
Look, all I want to do is be able to keep my shoes on. Yeah. I mean, why do I got to take my shoe and my belt off?
Oh, wait. I don't know if you can get the TSA pre-check.
I think I can get the TSA pre-check, but you're right. You're talking about my felony.
Yes.
I mean, look, I'm traveling several times a year on airplanes. And I've got, horrifying felonies on my record. I don't consider myself guilty and was released by an order of the Florida Supreme Court. Nonetheless, it's
You've got a record.
I got a record. And so they're not protecting you from anything in that way.
Right. During a recent tour of Washington Dulles International Airport,
and by the way, the TSA pre-check is a scam. I mean, if they know whether you're a bad guy or not because you're flying. Right? If you should be able to look at, somebody takes the time to look at my, flight record for the last 10 years. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, This guy's been on probably 100 flights in this amount of time. That might be an exaggeration, but not much of one. 50 flights in this amount of time. Nothing's happened. They should just give you a pre-check. I mean, what's the point? Why go and pay $100 and get through all the rigmarole? Because bureaucracy is bureaucracy. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
During a recent tour of Washington Dulles International Airport, Pekoski told the Washington Examiner that his agency believes floppy-eared dogs are less intimidating to travelers than dogs with pointy ears. He said, "We find the passenger acceptance of floppy-eared dogs is just better. It presents just a little bit less of a concern, and it doesn't scare the children." So it's all about passenger stress. We can't have people stressed out when they're going through TSA.
My mother has shown Dobermans most of my life. She is a dog handler of some renown. She is actually on the board of the AKC, like the larger body,
the American Kennel Club.
Yep, the American Kennel Club, the larger body, not the ruling board. But so every year she goes to, I think it's usually New Jersey, and they vote on which dogs get to be AKC breeds and which ones aren't, and all that other probably a bunch of dumb crap.
Which dogs get to be dogs this year?
Right. But we've had Dobermans my entire life, and we were just walking her dog when I was down last week for the holidays, and my wife and I out, and it's true. She's got a Doberman who's very sweet, as long as she's not an offense. She's going to bark her head off if there's a fence between you and her, but once if she's on the leash or whatever and just out in public, she's no problem at all. She's very loving, and she's, shove your hand up to get her head underneath there for a little more scritches. But people are scared of her because of those pointy ears. Mm-hmm. They stick way up on Dobermans, and the way they look when they're alert is just, it's terrifying.
I don't think it's just the ears. A Doberman is a pretty big dog. And it's a very lean, muscular dog.
And they've got the snout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pointy. They're pointy. They're a steady in motion. Points all over the place. You know, little knobby, pointy things.
But
TSA.
I wonder how much time the TSA spent pondering this dog ear issue. How much of their money?
They kind of get into this. They don't talk about the money, but they do say that the TSA has more than 900 teams of officers and bomb-sniffing dogs, either screening passengers at airports or sniffing cargo and baggage behind the scenes. About a third of the dogs actually interact with passengers, according to the TSA. They train 7 breeds of dog, and then they actually list them here.
What are they?
As well as the type of ears.
Okay.
German Shepherds.
Pointy. Uh-huh.
Labrador Retrievers.
Floppy.
German short-haired pointers.
Floppy.
Wire-haired pointers.
Floppy.
Vizslas. That's apparently the name. Vizslas.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either. Belgian Malinois.
I don't know.
Pointy.
Okay.
And golden retrievers.
Floppy.
Because of the federal government shutdown, however, TSA representatives could not be reached to comment on how the agency plans to actually transition to more floppy-eared dogs. Well, it sounds like
they've got several.
5 out of 7 dogs that they train are floppy-eared.
I don't know why they're doing Goldens when there's how much more grooming costs there are to a Golden than there is to a Lab. I mean, they're long-haired dogs. Big pain. Are my tax dollars going for pampering days for the bomb-sniffing Goldens? Anyway, I think dogs are great when they, to be used by the TSA because they don't waste as much of our time and they're not as invasive and they have incredible noses.
They do.
855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE.
Let's go with drug-sniffing cats. They won't snitch on you.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. Makes the perfect stocking stuffer. Get your Bug Assault today and save $10 on the Bug Beam Laser Combo, only at bugassault.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live's live Sunday edition. You're welcome to call in, talk about whatever's on your mind here. It's Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
855-450-3733. We've been talking about, well, in the last segment, apparently the TSA is opting for floppy-eared dogs over pointy-eared dogs to make us all feel better. Which, I don't know if that says anything bad about the TSA, but it certainly says something bad about the average American. This is, oh boy. I feel better that the government is employing floppy-eared dogs to frisk me at the airport. If you are libertarian and you want to find businesses that you want to do some business with, because, well, frankly, we've been asked that for many years here on Free Talk Live. Why isn't there a directory of libertarian businesses? Well, there is, and we've teamed up with them to offer their services to you for free. Go to liberty.menu. You can sign up there. It's a tool for your community. It's a directory for events, businesses, and digital content. Listings can be rated and reviewed. There's a bit of a social network so you can connect and share with others. Liberty.menu, it's exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at liberty.menu and use our code FTL. You get a free special badge there. It's liberty.menu. Liberty.menu. Let's go to Matt calling in from Louisiana. Matt, you're on Free Talk Live.
Good evening, gentlemen. And Laurel, I found Laura. I found your Laurel. Okay, yes. I get all good. Now I'm all messed up.
That's right.
I found your YouTube channel and I love it.
Thank you.
Really? So, great.
It's The Truth About Immigration for everybody who's watching this.
Laurel's YouTube channel. Sorry.
Yes.
The Truth About Immigration. Yes.
Yes. Go to anybody who wants to see it. Go to YouTube and just in the search field, put in The Truth About Immigration. A few different channels will come up, but I'm one of them, so it's me.
Yeah. So the welcome to the Alternative Influencers Network. So I was just wondering, this thing about the bump stock ban. It's like, can I get my nationalism and my border security without a side of gun control? And this has got the 2A community like all just going at each other. Some of them are like, I told you he was going to bone us. And others are like, no, he's playing 4D chess with, strange ninja moves that will become apparent in the future. And I'm like, oh, geez, I don't know which is the truth. I mean,
yeah, I don't think he should have caved. And, a couple of years ago, I would have said, yeah, of course we should ban those because they don't really have a useful purpose or whatever. We don't need them. But now I've had a big change of heart on that. There's a couple of reasons.
Yeah, what's the reason? Because to my mind, although I don't support a bump stock ban,
right,
I don't really see a point for bump stocks. I mean, it's more of a novelty item than anything.
Okay, so there's a couple of problems. One of them is that the rule that has been passed, or the law that has been passed, makes it illegal to own something that you purchased legally. So just having the bump stocks is now illegal, even if you purchased them before this change in the law.
Okay.
Didn't they wind up doing the same thing to lawn darts back in the 80s, though?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't think they made them actually illegal, but I've been looking for a good set of used lawn darts. But
lawn darts are a terrifying item, Laurel. If you don't know anything about this, now imagine a dart, right? Now you shorten up the shaft of the dart so that the wings are very close to the head, and then you grow it and put a weight near the head of it, so probably 5 pounds. So there's a spike, a weight, and the purpose of this is you grab the end of it. You throw it up in the air, and then you attempt to get it into a circle. However,
it doesn't always land in the circle.
Well, I mean, you've got kids and drunk people throwing these things up in the air. I mean, people getting pegged in the head with a lawn dart.
I'm not saying lawn darts are a good idea.
They didn't even see it coming, and that's the worst part.
Right, but my point is, as I recall it, and
now they don't even sell them at the Walmart anymore.
Right, so they're illegal to distribute, but I thought that when the ban on them went into effect, everybody that owned them had to destroy them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that the leg lamp thing is also, doesn't serve a real purpose, but there shouldn't be a ban on leg lamps.
So I think the caller had something to add about that.
Matt, yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's just a couple of things. One is the procedure, because I can foresee that, okay, so this is, let's say, the lawsuits don't succeed, and this rule stands. It's not a law; it's a rule passed by the ATF with the approval of acting Attorney General. If it stands, and that means that a President Kamala Harris could decide that any box-loaded semi-automatic is now, banned.
Don't say President Kamala Harris. I need to be able to sleep tonight.
No, sorry, I don't let people sleep.
This is a possibility, though, I suppose.
And then the other thing is compliance. They have no idea who owns these things because they were not regulated before.
Right.
And as the state of New Jersey will tell you with their magazine ban, not a lot of people are complying. As a matter of fact, the New Jersey State Police said pretty much nobody.
Yeah.
Turned in their magazines when they, changed the magazine size.
Right, is quote unquote high capacity, which the AR-15 comes with a 30-round magazine. It's not quote unquote high capacity, and nobody's complying. So
right, so they basically just created an entire new group of criminals without any victims.
Right, and so the entire procedure behind this really bothers me, that maybe he does think he's playing some kind of 4D chess.
I think he thinks he's giving in, and then he'll be able to use that as a negotiation later of, oh, hey, I already gave in on something, I'm not going to give in again. I mean, people who are supporting what he's doing are saying that. I don't know.
He did it in conjunction with the shooting at the school in Florida, which of course didn't have anything to do with bump stock. That was the shooting before that, but whatever.
But it was a Las Vegas thing that had something to do with bump stocks. But then I'm still against banning the civilian ownership of any category of weapon.
Right,
because
and this is
criminals misuse them.
That's my other reason why I'm against banning the bump stocks. The first one was that you're making it illegal to possess something that you already purchased legally, and then the other reason is the anti-gun lobby is never going to be satisfied. It doesn't matter what we give in on. We give in on this, and we think, okay, it's done. No, now they're going to go on to the next thing. They will never be satisfied. It doesn't matter.
They won't be satisfied till we're reduced to using muzzle loaders with flintlocks.
So I think I've taken.
And maybe
I agree.
Even then, they might want to go to matchlocks.
I agree with Matt Christensen on this. At this point, it's not one more inch, just across the board for anything having to do with guns, because they will just never be satisfied, and people are giving in because they think, okay, we'll give in on this, and that'll be it. That'll be it. It's never going to be the end. So don't give an inch.
Right,
Never.
and people, it's a natural human reaction to want to negotiate, and the question that you have to ask yourself is, do I have a right to negotiate someone else's right to protect themselves? Look, I don't have all of these weapons. I don't have some kind of stockpile of AR-15s at my house or anything like that because, well, it's not the lifestyle I want to live. However, I think that you should be able to have them if you want. If you use them to commit a crime, you obviously should be charged. But we already have laws for all of that stuff.
Yeah. Right.
And
murder is already against the law. What are you going to do? Make it more extra illegal?
Right.
Like hate crimes. That's another one that but I won't.
Right. It's just
I won't go into that.
It adds it adds sentencing. It adds another charge to sentencing, so that they can for the people they dislike. We don't know why somebody commits a crime every time, and hate crime rules are it's already illegal. We don't need extra. Just enforce the laws we have. Bad. Indeed. Thanks for the call, Matthew.
Ciao.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Do you think we should be banning guns? Which guns? Why? What bullets? How? Free Talk Live.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
You may need this herbal tea for relief right away, so write this down. DRMILLERS clinic.com. If you take meds, then suffer stomach distress, constipation, indigestion, acid reflux, and bloating and nothing else helps, get Dr. Miller's Holy Tea or Super Holy Tea, a cleansing, detoxifying herbal tea now available at great rates direct from Dr. Miller's office. Call or click 888-660-7039 or DRMILLERS clinic.com.
At WolfHillAmmo.com, we love shotguns. We offer the best specialty shotgun ammo on the market, including our defensive combo packs for home and retreat. Our less lethal combo is good for animal control, the 4-legged kind and 2-legged. When lethal force is necessary, reach for our Stop 'em, Drop 'em, or our home defense combos. These 5-round packs include different heavy hitters to protect your loved ones. Visit WolfHillAmmo.com to see our great prices on these combo packs and other specialty shotgun ammo rounds. WolfHillAmmo.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The live Sunday edition, and you are free to call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. We've been going over, well, quite a few different things here as the night has progressed, from the USDA killing cats to the
Meow.
TSA. What was that noise?
Meow.
Oh, God. I had no idea. I thought it was some caller on the line that I'm like, what is that?
No, it's me making cat noises when you said cats.
TSA advocating now for floppy-eared dogs, and Utah lowers the DOI.
Well, you see, Mark,
limit to
the TSA
0.05.
is very stressful. And we can't be adding stress by having scary-looking dogs. We've got to have cute, friendly-looking dogs that everybody's going to want to pet, and then they get yelled at by the big, scary, angry TSA guy saying, "You can't pet my dog!"
Yep. Well,
thus increasing the stress. Thus, what they need is therapeutic kittens.
You probably shouldn't be petting dogs that are at work. But whether it's
then don't bring cute dogs to work.
Well,
use the pointy-eared ones.
What about blind people? They've got to be able to see. They got to get around, and their dogs are working. When on the job, you leave them alone. That's how that goes. You don't have to like it. You just got to live with it.
I know that. I'm just saying there's going to be somebody that's going to want to pet the dog.
Yes.
And then the scary mean man is going to yell at them.
Sometimes.
That's why they give everybody that wants a therapeutic kitten when they get in line, and then they return it on the other side. You
could get the ones from the USDA that they're killing off with toxoplasmosis.
Exactly.
You spread it around, put them in a confined sealed tube, fly them through the air for a few hours, and when they get out, it'll be one big virulent cesspool.
You put the kitten in the kitten return bin on the other side of security.
I'd much rather talk about Ebola coming from the Congo.
So right now
Please don't give me a cat with Ebola.
Right now we are in the middle of the second deadliest Ebola outbreak in history. The first most deadliest was from
like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was 2014 to 2016.
Okay.
And over 11,000 people died before it was over. So
mostly in Africa.
Mostly in Africa, and it was in Western Africa. It was Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. So now it is in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is in the middle of Africa. And there is a war going on there right now, which makes the virus very difficult to contain. So far, only about 360 people have died compared to the 11,000 that died in the other epidemic. However, this is new. This is just the beginning of this epidemic. So we don't know how many people will have died by the time this is over. It's just beginning.
The important question is, how many are in America?
Oh, there is one here now.
Oh, good.
He was a...
Did we fly him in?
We did.
We're so good at that.
He was a medical worker for an American healthcare worker.
By the way, before you go any further, last night on the air, we're talking about immigration, and a guy called in concerned that immigrants are bringing, diseases that we have eradicated in the United States over the border and those kind of things.
They're bringing in tuberculosis, yeah.
Yeah, usually drug-resistant tuberculosis is the thing that the big bugbear that everyone's scared of. But yeah, TB's really been stomped down here in the United States, and it's not so much in Central America. However, apparently the CDC is flying in people with Ebola right into the country.
Well, it's an American, so they can't deny him entry. But when he came in, of course, no, they can quarantine him or isolate him.
Under international law, you cannot be prevented from returning to your home country.
I see.
Your country of citizenship. So he was flown to a center at the University of Nebraska Medical Center where they have facilities to deal with outbreaks such as this, and he can be isolated. Incidentally, I learned this today, the difference between isolation and quarantine. Isolation is for people who are sick, whereas quarantine is for people who might have been exposed to it and might be sick but haven't shown any symptoms. So quarantine is really for people who aren't sick. But isolation is for people who are. So he's
how are
in
they
isolation.
Quarantine. I mean, quarantine sounds so great, right? Like, oh, good, he's quarantined. But what does that mean? Does it mean he has to go home and isn't allowed to go to the grocery store, or does it mean that they're holding him in some vacuum sealed chamber someplace?
It means they're holding him in a vacuum sealed chamber because they were doing self-watching in the last epidemic. Some people, they were sending them home and they were saying, try to isolate yourself in your home environment and report back and monitor. But that's not quarantine. The quarantine is going to be a government ordered in a very secure facility.
Yeah, that's what I would want in that circumstances. Hey, you're going to spend a few nights in our very special hotel.
There's actually quarantine centers at most major airports in the United States specifically for this reason.
I hope they're comfortable, but nonetheless.
You know what? I was going to tour one when I wrote a paper on this during the last outbreak, but the outbreak ended before I got a chance to do any kind of tour. So I'm sad. I really would have wanted to tour it. So I don't know what they look like, but presumably it's going to be very similar to a hospital environment where, you've got a bed and a TV, hopefully.
If you're not sick it would be really kind of stink. I mean,
you're going to be bored.
Yeah.
You're going to be bored. Hopefully you've got some books.
Yeah.
So
get your handheld device. I mean, that's what everybody handles boredom with now.
And incidentally, for people who are suspected of being exposed to Ebola, the quarantine is usually 72 hours. And then after 72 hours, the government would be required to give a reason for why the quarantine was extended beyond that. The reason's got to be something like, well, now you have a fever. So they can only hold somebody without an extra reason from after 72 hours if they have another reason.
So within 72 hours, if you French kiss the person with Ebola as you got on the plane, right? Just as you're getting on the gangway.
That sounds like a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it. This is not me advocating French kissing people with Ebola. And then you step on the plane. Within 72 hours, you should be showing symptoms?
No, and that's one of the problems is that it can be 21
Who puts
days.
These rules in place?
Yeah, so I don't know why I think 72 hours has to do with the rights of the individual.
Yeah.
But they don't want to hold people longer than that.
In Florida, the Baker Act, and it's called different things in different states, but basically it has to do with a mental health thing, is that a mental health hold can only be for 72 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, here in New Hampshire, sometimes they're longer because you don't get seen by the mental health professional, and I don't know exactly how it goes.
Right, but exactly for Ebola, the incubation period is 21 days.
Yeah, CDC says that symptoms may appear anywhere from 2 to 21 days after first contact. The average is 8 to 10 days.
So 72 hours just doesn't seem like enough.
And apparently the symptoms that one would wind up showing are the same as if you had the flu.
Yeah.
Until it gets really bad.
Yeah.
And then you start bleeding from your eyes.
Right.
Which
But
doesn't usually happen with the flu.
The initial symptoms that you would show within 8 to 10 days.
Yeah.
You've got the flu. I mean, Ebola.
Yeah.
Oops.
One of these kids that just died in the custody of Customs and Border Patrol now
the flu.
died from the flu. And,
Yeah, that was one of those things to where, when it first came out, everybody was like, holy crap, another kid died.
Customs and Border Patrol keeps killing kids.
Right. It was only, like 2 or 3 weeks after another kid had died.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came out that Border Patrol had taken the kid to the hospital. Kid was treated. Hospital said he should be fine.
You're talking about the newest one. Yeah.
Right. And then early the next morning, kid wasn't doing any better. They went back to the hospital, and then the kid died in the hospital. And then it was about a week later when they finally said, oh, yeah, it was the flu.
Yeah, the flu kills people, especially the young and the old.
It does.
I mean, it's a dangerous thing. Sadly, the vaccinations for the flu are not particularly effective because they don't know what strain is going to be spread around.
We're going to vaccinate you for the flu that people had last year, and hopefully the one this year is the same.
Well, I think what they're doing is they're looking at the flu in Australia and trying to predict that that's going to be this year's.
Oh, everything in Australia kills you.
True.
The ants, everything. Yeah.
Well,
They've got a dingo fence running through the middle of the country.
What's that for?
To prevent the dingoes from getting from one side of the country to the other.
That's not a dog rights violation? I mean, America can't run a fence across, the North American continent, but the Australians can do it on theirs?
I guess anything goes in Australia. I don't know.
Yes. I mean, dingoes don't dig under fences. They don't jump over fences.
I saw it on some nature documentary, dude. I don't
need
know.
to look this up, huh?
I don't know how deep the fence goes. I just know that this nature documentary I was watching one time, they went and they're like, oh yeah, that's the dingo fence. Make sure you close the door. It's a major penalty if you leave the door of the dingo fence open.
I don't know how we got to dingoes from Ebola.
I don't know either, but I'd hate to think the Australian military was going to lose to
everything
the
in Australia kills
and the
you.
emus.
They did have a war against the kangaroos?
The emus. And lost.
The emus,
Yeah.
yes.
855-450-3733. They were valiant, by the way, in World War I and World War II. It's just kind of a funny story about the dingo or the emus. 855-450-FREE.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years. From My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, December 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.39 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,281 per ounce. Zen is trading at $6, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,845. Antiwar.com reports in a Friday tweet angrily condemning the obstructionist Democrats. President Trump had threatened to fully close the border between the United States and Mexico. He says this will happen unless Congress changes immigration laws to suit his taste and agrees to fully fund his border wall. Democratic strategist Jesse Ferguson said that Trump has taken taxpayers hostage by shutting down the government and that this latest threat amounted to upping the ransom demand. The U.S. government is in a state of partial shutdown for now over demands by President Trump to fund the wall. Congress has no vote scheduled and isn't even intended to meet until late next week. Trump's comments were vague, as it's unclear how the border closure to legal traffic would do anything to impact illegal crossings, and similarly unclear how Trump proposes to seal the border without a wall. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports two outgoing senior House Republicans Friday called for a continued investigation into the FBI and DOJ's handling of the Russia investigation and Hillary Clinton's emails, while renewing a request for a second independent counsel. In a letter to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, and the DOJ's Inspector General Michael Horowitz, U.S. Representatives Bob Goodlatte and Trey Gowdy encouraged federal law enforcement leaders to investigate these matters consistent with your jurisdiction so the final definitive accounting can be made to the American people. While the letter signaled an end to the House investigation into the handling of Clinton's emails and Donald Trump's ties to Russia, Goodlatte, the outgoing chair of the House Judiciary Committee, and Gowdy, the House Oversight Committee chair, charged that their work was stymied. Goodlatte and Gowdy wrote, "Regrettably, our joint investigation was impacted by institutional protectionism on the part of the DOJ and FBI. For example, the agencies delayed the production of relevant documents and failed to provide witnesses in a timely manner," adding, "DOJ continues to refuse to declassify documents necessary to the investigation despite the president's request that the documents be declassified." Democrats take over House leadership in January and have long been critical of the Republicans investigating the FBI. They charged that Republicans were doing the bidding of the president to undermine special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. Gowdy and Goodlatte denied their investigation was an attempt to undermine Mueller. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community. Learn more at horizon.global. Reuters reports a Hilton hotel in Portland, Oregon announced over the weekend that it had fired a security guard and a manager after a black guest captured them on video calling the police to report him for trespassing after he had been speaking to his mother by phone in the lobby. A law firm representing Jermaine Massey said in a statement the police responded to the call and escorted Massey out of the DoubleTree by Hilton hotel where he was staying on December 22nd. His attorney said Massey was doing nothing more than calling his mother while black. Massey videotaped his interactions with the security guard and manager and posted it to Instagram, where it was widely viewed. He has called his treatment by the hotel an incident of racial profiling. The hotel said in a statement on Saturday, following an internal review, "We have terminated the employment of the security guard and manager involved in this incident. Our hotel is a place of hospitality, and their actions were inconsistent with our standards and values." The identities of the security guard and manager were not released, and they could not be reached for comment. In the video shared on social media, the security guard can be heard telling Massey that the police would be arriving to escort him away. Massey protested, saying he was staying at the hotel. The guard responded, "Not anymore." On Friday, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler said he was deeply troubled to hear about what Massey went through, saying no one should be treated this way, and I hope this serves as a catalyst for necessary changes that address the systemic nature of discrimination of all forms. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish a TV show where I travel across this great nation eating pork in every one of our 50 states. Join me on my cross-country odyssey as I make our forefathers proud, reveling in life, liberty, and the pursuit of pork.
You can really taste the cooked pork. This stuff is fantastic. I'm a big salt fan.
Let's pork! We're tasting prime pork dishes in every state in the union, and I couldn't be more excited for this once-in-a-lifetime tour. You're going to be right here with me, seeing everything I do and watching every pork I taste. I'm Jim Haggerty. You know me as the host of Today Now, but I've also eaten in a ton of restaurants. Now I'm heading out on the road. My mission? Find the best pork our country has to offer.
Watch Jim Haggerty's Porkin' Across America at youtube.com/theonion.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
right, it is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on this live edition. If it is between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, any day of the year, doesn't matter. You can call in to Free Talk Live and have your voice heard on up to 190 plus radio stations. I don't know at any one time how many stations are carrying us. Free Talk Live makes it very easy for radio stations to carry us. We have our affiliate relations staff, Darryl. He makes bends over backwards to make sure that people, that our stations are serviced, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
me as well as Ian. And then there's somebody from GCN that will do a little bit of stuff as well.
Cool. Well, thanks to all of you for your service, and you've done a really great job. Free Talk Live nearing 200 radio stations now. And by the way, that's not
getting expanded on existing stations with several high-profile people leaving the air at the end of the year.
That's true. For those that don't know, Laura Ingraham, Michael Medved, Phil Valentine.
Yep.
Are all leaving, and Michael Savage is cutting his show in half, his live appearance in half.
Right.
So, 855
to focus on a podcast, which 1 hour of the podcast is going to be broadcast by some of the stations, which seems really strange.
Yeah, a podcast that's broadcast anyway.
We are a radio show that has a podcast. Yes. There are several other things that are podcast that are being aired as radio shows.
Yeah. We provide our radio show in the form of podcast, but it is not a podcast. Correct. In the sense that podcasts usually have a beginning, a middle, and an end that can run from a few minutes to a few hours, depending on what they're doing. Free Talk Live, it's the same show, right? So we do the different breaks, there's resets and all that stuff, all the radio terminology. So let's go to Carl, who's calling in from New Jersey. Carl, you're on Free Talk Live.
Oh, first thing I want to say is Happy New Year to all three of you.
To you too. Thank you.
Okay. January 1st, 2019 in Summers Point, New Jersey, the gateway to Ocean City, New Jersey. They got the bay there. They're not banning plastic bags in the two big supermarkets. They're going to make everybody pay for the bags except for the ones on public assistance. And
that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's either a good idea to pay for your bag or not a good idea to pay for your bag, but why would it be a good idea to... I mean, people are on public assistance. They're just as capable as bringing fabric bags to the grocery store as anybody else.
Well, I agree with you, but
how much are we talking about per bag?
I think it's 5 cents if I remember right.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is... the stores already have that built into their purchase that you make for them bags.
Right. This is not money that will go to the grocery stores.
No, it's a sin tax.
This is a tax that will then go to the city for the privilege of you getting a one-time use plastic bag.
Presumably, they will use the money to clean up plastic bags that are, I don't know, blowing around and floating in the water or whatever the heck they're doing. Don't expect that to be well-used money.
Well, I think in this case, the stores keep the money. The city doesn't get any of it. But the whole thing is...
What was the name of this town again?
Summers
Point, New Jersey. They're also the town that you have to license your cats into. I bet nobody does that.
Well, they license dogs in most places, but not usually cats. I always think it's interesting. I mean, why do you have to have a license for a dog, but you have a license for a cat?
And then
what
New
about
Hampshire,
chickens, pigs?
Well, New
How about
Hampshire
the
for the
that
dogs
live on my property. I mean, why don't I have licenses for them?
New Hampshire for the dogs, they have what's essentially a testicle tax.
Yes.
To where if you have not had your pets spayed or neutered, then you have an extra fee.
That's true.
Huh.
Jeez. Do you remember President Obama that he made it illegal as long as you disclose you can eat horse meat in the country? And I made a joke about that. I wonder why he hasn't done it with dogs, too.
I know horse meat's consumed pretty regularly in many francophone type countries. For whatever reason, that's a preference for them. Okay, right. I guess.
I think if you want to eat horse meat, you should be able to eat horse meat. I don't know why you would want to, but sure.
Well, I don't. Well, they have to disclose that's what you're eating. I don't think I ever ate any, but who knows?
Who knows?
And who knows?
Thanks for the call, Carl. Appreciate it.
Thank you, and Happy New Year.
You
Bye.
too.
Same to you.
Now, when I go to the grocery store, I usually bring a bag with me. I've gotten pretty good about it.
I'm so bad.
I'm very. For years, I would keep a bag in my car, and then it would just stay in my car, and I'd forget about it and be like, "Oh, I'll remember next time," and I never did. But I really made a point of it starting about 2 or 3 years ago, and I've gotten very good. I'm so proud of myself.
My wife is good at it, but I even when I do think about it, it's not in the car because I took it in the house to undo the groceries, and my wife is gone for months out of the year, and I do go to the grocery. I got to restock on beer, right? I go to the grocery store. I don't have stuff stocked up, even though we have a pretty good sized freezer, and I just can never remember to bring the darn things in. Right there at the cash register, I begin to feel bad. I expect the people to boo me and throw things at me. Little kids spit on me or whatever for not bringing in my bag, but I always forget.
Yeah, and I've actually pulled up the ordinance here from Summers Point, New Jersey, and it doesn't say where this money goes to. It just says that stores are required to charge the fee of not less than 5 cents for a single-use plastic bag.
Sounds to me like they're keeping it for the store.
Yeah, the caller is right.
Charge.
Yeah. Like I said,
way,
most other places where I've read the ordinance, it was a fee that went to the municipality that was collected by the stores.
In many cases, these single-use plastic bags, by the way, could just be crumpled up, stuck in your pocket, and you use them when you go back to the store.
Yeah.
You don't need the fabric bags.
We've got a bag full of plastic bags.
Every home in America has a bag full of plastic bags.
Yes.
Nobody can use enough kitty litter and line enough small waste paper baskets to use up all these bags. My wife will bring, in many cases, bags back to the store for recycling. They've got a bin in many stores where you can recycle bags.
Yeah, but they don't recycle very well. Every time you recycle plastic, it degrades.
Sure.
So when they're bringing back the bags from the grocery store and recycling them, they're probably not going to be made into additional bags.
Oh, I suspect that it's in a lot of cases, recycling's just about making people feel better.
Yeah.
It's a new and different way to throw away your garbage.
And I found an article from Philadelphia CBS Local that says all monies collected will be retained by the stores. So this is basically the city mandating here's a way for stores to literally nickel and dime their customers.
Well, in theory, all the stores have to do the same thing. So all the stores are going to make presumably about the same amount of money, which means that all the stores are now in competition with the other stores that are doing the same thing. So they should lower the cost of groceries by charging for these bags. Presumably.
Is it 5 cents per bag or just per
fee of not less than 5 cents per bag?
Bag.
They can charge more if they want. But they say the single-use bags, and then there's the one, I've seen these plastic bags that they have for cold items, too. So they're sort of thicker,
right?
Yeah.
Just a little sturdier. And I don't know how that's going to figure into the picture.
Well,
either.
I love the reusable bag that I bring in. It's very strong. I can carry a whole heck of a lot of groceries in there, and it is also thermal. So if I've got cold stuff, I can zip it up.
Well, if the bag is at least 2.25 mils thick, it is considered a reusable bag.
And what does that have to do with the price of bags in Somerville?
The fee only applies to single-use plastic bags.
So the store can give away bigger, more expensive bags for free.
They could give you cloth bags if they wanted to. Most places charge you for those.
They do.
Can they do
They
paper?
sell those.
Paper bags.
Paper does not appear paper.
Sounds like they could give
I
away
am not
paper bags.
seeing a reduction in the amount of plastic and paper, but paper only appears one time in the purpose of the thing. They want to reduce the amount of paper and plastic being used.
855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE. Do you support this?
No.
855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed
cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways.
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dinovite.com.
With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dinovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dinovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dinovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. MyPillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-951-5617 and use promo code FTL. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now.
It's the Onion Radio News. Teen sex is linked to alcohol and drugs by the Center for Figuring Out Really Obvious Things. This is Doyle Redland reporting. An exhaustive 4-year, $23 million study of substance abuse and sexual habits of more than 2,500 American teens has confirmed that young people between the ages of 13 and 18 who drink and or use drugs are more likely to be sexually active. Dr. Gerald Eckersley is director of the Boston-based organization.
We found that this phenomenon also occurs among adults as well as every population everywhere in the world that has ever existed since the dawn of time.
The center has sent a teleprompter-ready press release of its findings to more than 400 local TV news affiliates across the U.S., along with stock video footage of beer displays and teens smoking and drinking at parties. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Talk Live Sunday edition. Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
855-450-3733. Talking about, well, in the last segment, we were talking about New Jersey charging for plastic bags at the grocery store. Maybe it was just this town. I don't know.
Yeah, just this town, it appears. When I was trying to find the thing for the town, which is why I had asked the caller, what was the name of this town again? I was seeing something that apparently the governor of New Jersey vetoed something that would have applied statewide.
I did an interview recently with the CIA, former CIA officer named Jason Hansen, and he has a book called, it's called the Escape Bag Blueprint, 37 items you must have to survive a crisis. And there's a lot of these sorts of things out there. Jason's is significantly better. If you want to know these 37 items that you should have to survive a crisis, please go to freeescapebook.com. This isn't just one of these internet lists out there. In his free book, he also gives advice on what are the best guns, knives, flashlights, water filters, all those things to have in an economic collapse or a grid-down event. freeescapebook.com. That's freeescapebook.com. Let's go to Mark calling in from South Carolina. Mark, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, thanks for having me. I know y'all had already kind of moved on, but
no, that's
when
fine.
you talk about the bump stock, that's an accessory, and if you allow them to ban an accessory, then what's to stop them from banning any part of the gun and slowly eradicating the gun?
It's true. I tend to think that it's a sort of a superfluous accessory because you can kind of do the bump stock thing just by holding an AR in a certain position and letting it rock back and forth.
There's also a way that you can do it with a rubber band.
Yeah, you could use a rubber band.
Which, based on one interpretation of the way this thing is written, anything that can be used, blah, 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 then every rubber band in the country must be destroyed because a rubber band could be used.
I think in all of this, you have to consider that when your rights are taken away, it's very unusual for all of your rights to be completely taken away all at the same time suddenly.
Right. It's always a little by little.
It's a little bit by little bit.
It's a step by step. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, if you're mechanically inclined, you can just build a bump stock.
Right. So outlawing them is pretty pointless. Also, these small magazines, these states that are mandating small magazines, with a 3D printer, as I understand it, you can pretty much build any magazine any size you want. So what's the point in banning the small magazines? Soon, as a matter of fact, if you get a Ghost Gunner home milling kit, you can make all the AR lowers that you can buy aluminum to make. And have a small militia in your basement if you want. Gun laws gun laws are becoming pointless very quickly. If somebody can have one of these 80% builds and have a gun with no numbers on it or anything, it just doesn't really make much difference what they're regulating. I will say this.
Like y'all said before, murder is illegal. So.
Exactly.
Right. The laws it's already illegal. I will say this. There's a gun law that I support. And I know I'm going to get it, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw this one out there. I support California's ban on lead bullets. Because
it's an environmental law, really.
It's an for environmental reasons. I don't like the idea of lead being thrown all over the place. But that's the only thing out there I support, and I'm not entirely sure that that's constitutional or right or anything like that. I'd love to hear an argument against it. But thanks for the call, Mark.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, bye. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE in case you want to crucify me for my stance on lead bullets.
Well, I agree with you on that one, so they would be crucifying both of us.
Excellent. Let's go to David, who's calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, Albuquerque, Pew, Mexico. I got horse meat.
Like right now in the freezer?
Big old piece of horse meat.
Okay.
Yeah, not in the freezer, just hanging up, letting it dry.
Okay.
I'm wondering where this is going.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't go any further.
Well, don't worry. No, it's not going anywhere where bad. It's where it came from that you should worry about. Anyway, well, actually, being serious for a second, I've had horse meat when I lived over in Switzerland, which was basically France.
Yeah.
And it was good for what it was.
Yeah.
I'm
sure I've had it. At some point or another, you have to have. I mean, as much meat as I've eaten, somebody's passed off something that had some amount of horse meat in it to me. I'm sure.
Yeah. And ripping on Mark for a second, Mark is on a misinformation tear tonight, man.
That's me.
Left and left and right spewing the misinformation. But no, the kitties, that doesn't even make the list. All the other things you said make the list.
Okay, well,
kitties
what is
don't
it?
even make the list. I'm not using my time on that, man. If you want to dedicate your time to that, we can do that. But I called about something else, as you see on your call screener note there.
I can't even. I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, listen to Mark's excuse. He can't read the word. He doesn't know what the word is.
I don't know what that word is either. I'm like squinting at it. I don't know what that word is.
Nobody else can see it.
So,
what is it?
Pusillanimity.
Okay, so that's cowardliness.
Wow, I'm impressed. I am impressed. Where did you learn that, Mark?
I don't know. I spent a lot of time in prison.
He reads.
Well, there is a lot of pusillanimity in prison.
I'm sure there is.
That is for sure.
There's also a lot of reading.
Anyway, pardon?
A lot of reading.
There you go. What I had called about was the little bits of fun facts, and you can tell me when I got like 10 or 15 seconds left, and I'll cut it off. But the fun facts on that, when I got arrested for using the telephone to threaten, harass, annoy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, one interesting fact. There's two interesting facts, but one of them is that when they wrote this up, they wrote it up as a domestic violence.
Now, this is when you got banned from calling a radio talk show, right?
Yes. The University of New Mexico radio station, KUNM, the director there, Elaine, this is all public record, so names matter. This is all public record. Elaine Baumgartel is the one that called the UNM police, Sergeant Guevara, who decided that they were going to double team me and write me up for calling into the radio station that I own. And when they solicited, you don't even have to pay taxes if you're a citizen of the state of New Mexico who does not pay taxes. You still own that radio station, and that radio station solicits listeners that own the radio station to call in and comment or question.
Sure.
And so when they solicited me as an owner of the radio station to call in and comment or question, they don't like my political viewpoint, and therefore they told me, don't ever call here again. And I didn't accept that, and I called there again, and therefore Elaine Baumgartel does what? She says, I'm telling Mom. And so Sergeant Mom Guevara from the UNM police comes over and protects their turf because they got a little racket going on, and they want it protected at all costs.
How did it end up being
Hold on, David.
We're going to stop.
Yeah.
I look at this, the broadcast clock is
an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Like, if you're not a dumbass...
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, live Sunday edition. Call in. Talk about what you want. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. We have David on the line here. Wants apparently something going on with his very odd case where he's been charged for calling into a radio talk show.
And I'm wondering how it wound up being a domestic violence incident.
Yeah, I want to find out a lot more about that, but I first want to tell you about Anarchapulco. Ian and I are going to Acapulco. The Anarchapulco will be from February the 14th through the 17th, and there's sort of these satellite events that are going on. You can find it all out about it at anarchapulco.com. But really the big draw, Ron Paul, Judge Napolitano, Doug Casey, Larkin Rose, David Icke, Cynthia McKinney, lots of big names. I'll be emceeing the Cryptopulco stage. We'd love to see you. It's a big lineup, and it's entrepreneurship, investment, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles. There's a track for families and kids and personal relationships. It's great. It's a great event. There's nothing like this event out there. Just phenomenal. And it's at a world-class resort on the sun and beaches of beautiful Acapulco. And I've gone 4 times now. I think it's great. They always seem to want to stress safety. I guess they're probably hearing people, talk about they feel, is Acapulco safe? It is. I've never felt unsafe there for a second. Free Talk Live will be there again. Go to anarchapulco.com. Use code FTL to register and receive a discount. We'd love to see you. Anarchapulco.com, code FTL for the discount. Let's go back to David, calling in from New Mexico. David, so what's going on with the case? At this point, more or less, you got some kind of trouble for calling into a public radio station owned by the taxpayers, owned by the citizens of New Mexico, and which is all very weird, and they placed a charge on you. What's going on now?
Well, there's many different entertaining aspects, but the one we were talking about last was the fact that when they wrote up the charge, they wrote the case number is a DV case number, domestic violence. And I want to know just exactly who it was that I was sleeping with, because I got a complaint because the sex was very bad because I don't even remember it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, first of all, how do you figure they arrive at filing that under a DV as opposed to a CR, meaning criminal?
Yeah. I don't know. I would say that my guess is that it's a silly threat that they're going to try to drop as soon as they possibly can.
It could just be a mistake.
Right. Well,
yeah.
It could be a mistake. So that's one point. Government mistake. Government doesn't make mistakes, do they? Oh, wait a minute, they make them left and right, and there are other points I'll share with you another time.
That's what I'm telling my clients all the time. When the government does something that I didn't tell the client was going to happen, they're like, "Why didn't you tell me this?" And I'm like, "Look, it's a government mistake." And sometimes they have a hard time understanding that the government makes mistakes.
They screw things up left and right, and like I said, we'll run out of time on this call, but I'll tell you about some other things they screwed up in a major way on this same case. But on the subject of domestic, so did they make a mistake, or are they doing it intentionally? If they have some option, because some ex-husband might be harassing his wife on the telephone, and so commonly this telephone harassment thing is written up under a domestic violence charge because there's a restraining order, a no contact order, or whatever, and so it's legitimately a domestic violence. Maybe they're how's the saying go about like a fox? Maybe they're doing it on purpose in case they might think I'm stupid enough that I might not notice, and that it gets run through as a domestic violence, and therefore they can screw me doubly by convicting me on a DV instead of a CR, and therefore make my Second Amendment rights null and void under the whatever act that was that illegally was put into place, because there's the fact that even if it was a legitimate domestic violence charge, it's actually illegal and unconstitutional, I argue, to attach the loss of a enumerated Bill of Rights, constitutional right for committing some simple crime, in this case that they're saying that somebody's harassing someone on the telephone. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? You harass somebody on the telephone, and therefore you should lose your constitutionally protected right to own a firearm, because firearms and telephone are directly connected, aren't they?
Well, I suppose if threats were being made on the phone, specifically threats that had to do with violence or the use of a firearm, I can see why they would want to, at the very least, temporarily prevent someone from getting a charge. However,
well, it's not temporarily. When you charge somebody with it, that's what you intend to take them to trial on. Sure. You intend to take them to trial on domestic violence, and therefore, by definition, because lawyers are smart. They know, and that's a little bit facetious, but lawyers are smart, and they know, present company accepted. They know, they know that. Now I lost my train of thought. I cracked myself up. But
well, let me interject with what domestic violence is. I mean, in the definition is going to vary by state, but in Texas, which is where I'm licensed in Texas and New Hampshire, and the law in Texas is that it's only going to be domestic violence if the person that the act is committed against is a spouse or a person you're related to that you're residing with, or if it's somebody with whom you have a child in common. It can't just be any person. Otherwise, it's not domestic violence.
Right. So, but in this case, it's a radio station, and so, like I said, I don't remember who I slept with.
Right.
But the charge, the statute is 30-20-12 from memory, and I'm digging out the paper as I look at it. But it's not just threatening; it's harassing, or it's like 6 different words, which including, I know that it says, for instance, if you simply annoyed somebody by using the telephone, that would qualify under this 30-20-12.
Oh man,
and
then all the telemarketers are going down.
Yeah. Use of telephone to terrify, intimidate, threaten, harass, annoy, or offend.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
right. So I offended you on the telephone, and therefore I lose my gun rights. Now, where does that make sense?
It makes no sense at all. The idea that
it sounds like
no one has a right not to be offended, and frankly, I mean, I get telemarketers are annoying. I really wish there was a better system. I'm sick and tired of getting robocalls telling me how I can get, my car warranty is about to expire. You know nothing about my car warranty.
Press 9.
Right. Right. Well, it says to press 9 to get off the list. You don't believe that, do you? I mean,
Right.
I just keep getting the call over and over again. Either that or a bunch of different places are using the same audio.
Yeah.
Possible.
It's good to know, though, now that we've further studied this, that we now know that if they succeed in doing this, that we can now take guns from all telemarketers everywhere in the country.
Most telemarketers are paid so poorly that they can't afford guns anyway.
well, the owners. It'll be fun going after them. They'll have to prove that they don't have guns, because we will allege that they have firearms, and the burden of proof will be on them to prove that they do not have them. And see where I'm going with that?
I lost them in a boating accident, and then I lost my boats in a hunting accident.
Exactly, but they'll have to prove that, because this is the way the law works.
It's clearly a crazy case, and I suspect that it will be they really did pick the wrong person to mess with on this this issue, because you're not going to let it go. You're not going to let them drop this charge. You'll file a lawsuit in order to bring it back up, and I'm very curious as to what happens. Unfortunately, it's going to take 2 years to resolve this in all likelihood. It's going to be a long-running bunch of nonsense.
So my non-legal advice is file a motion to dismiss on grounds that they filed the thing against you incorrectly.
My legal advice would be hire a lawyer.
Well, actually, I actually have consulted a lawyer already, and let me share with you what he said, which I guess I agree with, is that before filing to dismiss it, what you want to do is file a motion to have it categorized as from DV to CR, and that way, when you go to, if you were to actually go to trial,
it doesn't sit on your record as a domestic violence thing. Very good.
Right.
Thanks for the call, David.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNlife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I've treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNlife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, final segment of this live Sunday night edition. Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
I want to thank our all our amplifiers, but specifically at this point, Jordy, who is a silver amplifier, which means $5 a month that Jordy's sign up to go ahead and help us to promote the ideas of liberty on radio stations around the country. I say it all the time. Free Talk Live is like the street preachers of liberty. Yeah, I get it. You understand the ideas of liberty. Well, not everybody does. And Free Talk Live brings the message to the masses. We are unique in that at this point, we are the only show that really brings a true pro-liberty message 7 nights a week to the airwaves. Look, I'm not saying everybody who calls in agrees with us. By no means do they. However, we are certainly bringing these messages to people and showing them that there's another path besides the right-left paradigm out there. And if you want people to get this information, to find this unique message, the best way is to go to the AMP program at to join the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. And we're just looking for $5 a month out of you, just like Jordy's doing here, Silver Amplifier. And thanks so much to all that do. Really appreciate it. Just go to amp.freetalklive.com. While we're talking about the website, I want to mention hope.freetalklive.com. So hope.freetalklive.com is my project to our project, but I've really taken it on here at Free Talk Live. We've built an orphanage in Kigoma, Jinja, Uganda, and now we're trying to make that orphanage solvent rather than kids having to beg and the all the begging that has to go on. A little bit of land.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with begging, I suppose, but it'd be nice if they had a little bit of land and they could grow some crops,
right,
and make their own food, sell some of that food, then be able to hire a teacher. Everybody has to pay for their own school in Uganda or somehow scrounge the money. And it's actually cheaper. There's enough kids at the orphanage. It's actually cheaper to bring a teacher in, and then they can subsidize their costs by letting some of the kids from the surrounding community come in and use the teacher at the same time. So you've got the land where they're going to grow the food. Then they can use the money to get the teacher, and it just makes it very easy. All they want is some food, a varied diet, and to be able to learn. And I want them to have that without having to beg for it. If you want them to have that too, we're trying to raise enough money to get 6 acres there in Kigoma, and it may not be the 6 acres that we currently have slated because, well, we're at about $4,300 raised, and that's going to be about $35,000. And so there's a shortfall at this point, but you could come in. Your money will be matched at this point. Every $50 is $100. Every $20 is $40. So it's hope.freetalklive.com. It's a project I'm passionate about. Been involved with this organization for some time. Hope.freetalklive.com. I guess that there are a bunch of minimum wage laws kicking into effect, Laurel, around the country. That some places are raising minimum wage.
Yes, minimum wages are rising in 20 states and several cities. Now, a lot of these increases are because of laws that were passed some time ago. The legislature would say, okay, we're going to raise it by this much on such and such a date. So it's not that there's been a bunch of laws. It's not that there's been a bunch of laws just passed. It's that these hikes are now taking place. The wage hikes range from an extra nickel per hour in Alaska to $1 an hour.
That'll change people's lives.
Yeah.
I'm sure glad they took the time to write that legislation in.
To $1 an hour in Maine, Massachusetts, and California for companies with more than 25 employees. This article is from NPR.
And again, Mark, some of these are things where it's automatic based on previous stuff. Minimum wage will increase by X, so it's not necessarily that the Alaska legislature sent a bill to committee to raise the minimum wage by 5 cents. They could have passed something decades ago that creates a formula that determines, and this year, whatever calculator guy determined, next year it's 5 cents.
Got it. So I'm curious about this, raising it at just to companies that have 25 employees or more. That's really weird. I mean, it puts a different playing platform for smaller companies versus bigger ones. And what's the point in that? I just don't quite get it.
Well, we don't want to hurt the mom and pop businesses.
So we're going to let them, pay below market wage?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand the thought process here. I don't think there should be any minimum wage laws at all. I think the market will set wages. In fact, the market does set wages because anytime a wage is not minimum wage, the market's setting it.
Mm-hmm. And the mom and pop companies, if everybody else is paying the larger wage, they are still going to have trouble attracting any kind of employees. So it's not like they're unaffected by this increase. The rest of the article from NPR bemoans the fact that it's not going up to 15 everywhere across the country.
Sure.
So they think
the
that
NPR reporters aren't exactly economically literate. I mean, they're usually the reporters that they have are young people who are just fresh in from their internship or whatever, and they don't really understand these things, and they're all for the fight for 15. They don't understand that the economy in Seattle, where they do have a $15 minimum wage,
not yet. That they're stepping up.
Oh, is that so?
So that they've got numerous steps. And after the first or second step, a bunch of part-time workers started asking for fewer hours because it was affecting benefits that they received. Oh, I can't get this little extra bit of
public
food
benefits,
stamps, I can't stay. I now make too much to be on this Obamacare or whatever. I've got to buy different health care and this, and it's costing that, and then I don't qualify for this, and I don't qualify for that. So can you please cut my hours? Wait, 2 months ago, you were out there fight for 15. Which is it? Do you want $15 an hour, or do you want to collect all the welfare? You can't have both.
Oh, well, yes, they can. This is the problem.
They can want both, but they can't actually have both.
When the government gets involved in pricing, it's always bad. And this is just the pricing of labor.
Right.
And I get that the pricing of labor has really great news stories that are correspond to it. But when you're talking about lower costs in shoes or whatever, it's because you don't see the sweatshops in China or Bangladesh. Like, labor is mixed with raw materials to make everything that you buy. The fact that labor occurs in the United States does not make that labor more important than other labor, unless you're some kind of weird jingoist, right? Like, unless you think Americans are better than other people in other countries. And just because products move across the border doesn't mean that labor is not involved. Simply because the labor occurred outside the United States, that labor isn't worse or of lower value or something. Yeah, each area is going to need its own. It has its own economy and should have its own. That labor is going to cost different things in different places, and that's why rural Mississippi, for instance, or maybe rural West Virginia. If you're just somebody working at a gas station at a corner in rural West Virginia, well, you're probably going to get paid less than somebody who's working at a sort of functional low-skilled job in New York City or Seattle.
But the cost of living is much lower.
Right. The cost of living is significantly lower, so you don't need as high of a wage. A $15 minimum wage makes sense in Seattle. I'm just saying it makes a heck of a lot more. I don't think they make sense at all, but it makes a heck of a lot more sense to set a $15 minimum cost per hour for labor in New York City than it does in rural West Virginia. And somebody who doesn't think that's true just needs to spend a little time reading about this stuff. I mean, even Paul Krugman, who's basically the leftist economist out there, doesn't think that you can successfully implement a $15 minimum wage across the board, because what it'll do is it'll drive young people out of the workforce.
Oh, it does a lot of things. It also causes more illegal immigration because the unlawfully present immigrants are willing to work for much less than that. It may even cause some U.S. citizens to work under the table so that they would get a lower wage, but they wouldn't be paying the taxes
higher
on
take
it.
Home.
Exactly. So the take home would be the same or higher. So those are some of the side effects of making such an incredibly high minimum wage.
Right. I mean, basically a 16-year-old coming into the marketplace isn't probably going to be worth $15 an hour in most locations. And basically that first job is training for real life. It's not, they're not producing at the rate that an adult would at the same job. Well, in the meantime, just check us out at freetalklive.com. We've got all kinds of stories there that you can vote on and that sort of thing. It's been Mark with you.
I'm Laurel.
And Darryl.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do,